If you're scared of losing muscle this Ramadan, it's actually very easy to maintain if you follow these 2 essential tips, inshallah. First off, you need to make sure that you're consuming enough protein. So a protein-rich suhoor, like I talk about in the other videos, iftar, and same thing, if you're doing late night snacking, make sure that these foods are protein-rich, which we talk about in a lot of other videos, inshallah. I'll also show you what I do for my exact diet and my own personal protein intake. And then after that, inshallah, I'll go deep into tip number 2, which is having the right workout strategy to ensure you don't overtrain during Ramadan, but instead hit the right stimulus for maintenance, inshallah. So first off, here's how I personally get 200 to 250 plus grams of protein per day in Ramadan with ease. I always start off my day with eggs, Greek yogurt, and protein shake. These are fast and easy to eat in the morning, and I typically get anywhere from 80 to 100 grams of protein at suhoor without feeling bloated. So this is a great way to front load my day with no negative impact on my fajr and ibadah. Obviously, you're going to need to adjust this based on your appetite, your digestion and bloating, as well as your own unique protein needs, which most people watching this are not going to need the same amount of protein that I do. From there, because you got in a high protein suhoor, your metabolism stays optimized during the day, so you have more energy because you're burning fat and you're not burning muscle. Then at night, as soon as it's time to break the fast, I have my dates and water, which is the sunnah, followed by a protein shake right after that. This allows my body to quickly digest and assimilate protein and nourish the cells that have not received protein for 12 to 14 hours. From there, before I eat, again, I let it digest and absorb while I'm praying Maghrib. And of course, for the sake of Allah, we want to pray Maghrib at the beginning of the prayer window because that's one of the beloved deeds to Allah is to pray at the early fixed times. And then from there, whether it's Ramadan or not, it is always best to do your adhkar, your sunnah prayer, everything after Maghrib, your protection du'as, everything, especially in Ramadan, but also year round. And by the time you're done with all that, it's been 15, 25 minutes, so your digestion is better and you're not ravenously hungry to where you have more control over what you can strategically eat to get in more protein instead of all these fats and carbs that are going to just make you bloated and mess with your absorption, your energy levels, and cause you to be unhealthy and mess up your hormones during Ramadan. So now that your digestive system is primed and optimized, it's time to get in some lean protein sources at iftar. Just make sure not to overeat and avoid the excessive fats, sugars, and a lot of the heavy carby foods because that stuff is going to mess with your digestion, absorption. And again, like I said, that messes up your hormones, which is also not going to be good for your sleep quality, and it's not going to be good for your testosterone levels and your cortisol levels. And if your cortisol is high, sleep is low, testosterone is low, that also puts you at risk of muscle loss, which is why it's not just the protein intake, it's also the optimal digestion of your diet that's important for maintaining muscle. And more importantly than that, way more important than that, is that you want to have energy to do ibadah properly. So now that you've had a good, moderate amount of healthy food, you're going to have a lot more energy, you're going to be able to do tarawih, you're going to be focused, you're going to have high quality ibadah. And after that, we all naturally have some cravings later in the night, whether it's sweets, salty foods, whatever it is, and that's fine. That's where we want to get in another dose of protein. So I always have sweet and salty protein snacks ready to go, so I'm hitting 2 birds with 1 stone. Satisfying those cravings, eating something that doesn't mess me up like a bunch of sweets and desserts and stuff that are going to ruin my digestion, hormones, and sleep quality, and I'm getting in even more protein, which makes it really easy to hit that 250 plus, which again, you may only need 150 to 200 protein depending on your weight, but obviously if you're a serious athlete who's over 200 pounds lean, you will probably need more than that. Now, of course, let's talk about the workout side of things because we need to be able to obviously train properly to maintain this muscle as well. You have to understand that even with optimal protein intake, your recovery is not going to be as optimal during Ramadan when you're fasting as opposed to outside of Ramadan when you're fully hydrated, you're getting in protein throughout the day. So even if you had the time in Ramadan to train 5 hours a day, you couldn't recover from that even outside of Ramadan. But like even if you usually train 2-3 hours a day outside of Ramadan, you're not going to be able to recover from that in Ramadan. But more importantly than that, you don't want to be wasting time for ibadah. It's literally 30 days where you get times 70 good deeds plus. And so why would you waste that spending excessive time working out? Instead, we want to take a more minimalist method, which is beneficial for 2 reasons. Number 1, most importantly, it's more time for ibadah. But number 2, it's better for your recovery capacity, which again is diminished due to the long fasting window. So you don't want to tax your recovery too much or you could actually lose muscle and overtrain. Now, of course, if you're somebody who doesn't go to the gym consistently, your problem is not overtraining, it's undertraining. So you need to get in the gym so you can have more energy for ibadah. There's a sweet spot. Too much working out means less time and energy. Too little working out also means less energy. So the sweet spot is a moderate amount of training that's going to help you do more ibadah and maintain muscle and get in better shape during Ramadan, like I talk about in all my other videos. So I always shorten my workouts during Ramadan, and for some clients, I'll go as low as 10 minutes a day. For people who are more serious about the gym, usually 30 to 45 minutes. For myself, about 45 to 60 minutes every other day is about how much I hit the gym in Ramadan is usually my target. I focus on hitting each muscle group once a week. And again, I usually train every other day, either full body or a body part split, depending on how my recovery is going. The good news is it only takes about 1/9 of the training volume to maintain muscle as it does to build it. So don't focus on building muscle during Ramadan. Your nutrition and sleep are definitely not optimized to build muscle. People always ask me, how do you gain muscle during Ramadan? No, it's not the time to focus on that. It takes too much time and effort and you're not optimized for it anyways. Just use this as the time to cut, but most importantly, focus on our ibadah. Then after Ramadan, your body's going to be primed for growth. Your body's going to utilize nutrients super well after all that fasting and after your metabolism slows down a bit from Ramadan to where it's going to be very easy to gain muscle after Ramadan, and anything you lost, you'll be able to gain. But if you just focus on maintenance, you'll be able to maintain to where you won't lose anything and you'll be better off. Most importantly, make those spiritual gains, and that's what Ramadan is all about. It's about the ibadah and increasing your iman and becoming closer with Allah. Now, I have a bonus tip as well that's also going to be very critical to you maintaining your muscle mass, and it's going to help with your quality and quantity of ibadah as well, which is to take care of your sleep as best as you can. Obviously, don't miss any ibadah, so make sure that you're sleeping during the day and not wasting that time at night. Of course, you will sleep at some point during the night, and every sleep schedule is going to be different based on your work schedule, everything else. But don't miss out on any ibadah, but also don't be wasting time scrolling on your phone, doing useless stuff, having useless chitter chatter when you should be sleeping and recovering for the next day of our ibadah. But also from a muscle growth standpoint and a muscle maintenance standpoint, if you're getting poor sleep, you're a lot more likely to lose muscle during Ramadan, versus if you're getting a good quality and quantity of sleep, then your muscle retention is going to be a lot better and your fat loss is going to be better too. And most importantly, your energy is better so you can do more ibadah. So obviously this video is already way too long for this platform, but if you want a really in-depth deep dive on this, I have an entire 7-part series on Ramadan nutrition and exercise, as well as the motivation aspect, the structure, the cheat sheets, the recipes, everything. Super in-depth resource I've made available for free for the ummah for the sake of Allah to ultimately benefit all of us and help us to do more ibadah, be healthier and fitter this Ramadan, and ultimately please Allah by our actions, by taking care of the body that He gave us and worshiping Him at a higher capacity, inshallah. If you want my entire 7-part mini course, all the PDFs, recipe book, everything, comment Ramadan below and we'll send it to you for free, inshallah.